Hello, and welcome back to yet another video. This is the second episode of a story in which 10-year-old Naruto meets Minato from future and that turns Naruto's life upside down. As Naruto lives a happy life in which he is trained by Minato and later Kushina too. After you've finished watching, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. To begin, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get the party started. Minato arrived at Kakashi's house only to find his student knocked out in a puddle of his own blood and Naruto doing a victory dance. "What the hell happened here?" exclaimed, checking the copy nin looking for wounds. "I made a bet with him where he would teach me some cool jutsus if I defeat him. I used a jutsu I invented to defeat him and now he must do his part of the bet and teach me." He said with his foxy grin. What happened?" "Oh yes, I remember being in heaven and then," said Kakashi, waking up. Minato paled. "Being in heaven? A pool of blood? It only can mean that jutsu." Naruto, can you show me that jutsu?" asked Minato, hoping to be wrong. "Of course, Dad." "Oiroke no jutsu," shouted Naruto. In a poof of smoke the kid was gone. In his place there was a nude teenage girl with whisker marks and long hair and 2 pigtails. "No. I didn't want him to develop that stupid jutsu. Nobody will take him seriously now, though." Minato. Kakashi at the vision of the young woman put his hands to his covered nose and looked other way. "Naruto-kun, please, release that jutsu. I can afford to lose more blood," begged Kakashi. Naruto nodded and released the jutsu. "Now you must teach me a cool jutsu, Kakashi-san," said the boy happily. Kakashi nodded and took one of his books. "I didn't expect you could develop such devastating technique at your age. Using my weakness against me was brilliant," said without taking off his eyes from the book. That words made Minato leave his those, realizing that Naruto's jutsu had more potential than he realized. "Yes, it's a good jutsu, but make sure to use it only when there are not females around or it will leave you beaten. It was also created by the future self of you and was classified as a kinjutsu like the puppy eyes no jutsu," said Minato. "Can you tell me more things about my future self, Tosan?" asked Naruto with stars in his eyes. Minato sighed. "Perhaps another day, Naruto. There are other things of the future that you must know first. I can say that your future self was able to exploit any technique he learned with great creativity, creating new ones like the Demi Bunshines," told Minato. "Demi Bunshines?" asked Naruto. "Are they similar to Cage Bunshines?" Kakashi raised his head, interested. "Yes, they are similar but with many differences. Instead of creating copies of yourself dividing your chakra equally among them, you create a clone with the quantity of chakra you choose. You can choose their appearance, weight, height and sex, but always in the limits of human shape. No wings, claws or extra limbs allowed," said Minato. Naruto and Kakashi were listening now with all the attention they could. "While Cage Bunshines have your personality and knowledge, you must decide their personality and what they know. Obviously it must be something that you already knew. It happens because they are not made dividing your soul like Cage Bunshines. It means that you don't get the memories of the Bunshines when they are dispelled because you don't have a part of your soul coming back to you. The other types of Bunshines like Mizu or Doden ones are made using elements instead of a part of your soul, so they don't have the property of giving you their memories but they have their own powers. I'll show you a demonstration," said Minato, turning his back to them so they couldn't see the hand signs he made. In a poof of smoke some women dressed like housemaids appeared and cleaned the blood that there was in the floor, then they bowed to them and disappeared in another poof of smoke. "So that means that this jutsu creates an army of servants to do whatever you want. They can do for me the homework from the academy and the chores of the house. Teach me. Teach me," begged Naruto. "Sorry Naruto, but this jutsu also requires more chakra control than the Cage Bunshine. As soon as you are able to perform the Rasengan I'll teach it to you. However, because you won't get the memories of the Bunshine, you'll be forbidden to use it for doing your homework. You'll have to do it yourself or one of your Cage Bunshines," said Minato. Naruto nodded, slightly disgusted. Meanwhile Kakashi's mind was rushing with perverted thoughts of what he could do with that jutsu. "Can you teach it to me, sensei?" asked Kakashi, trying to perform the puppy eyes no jutsu. "No, that jutsu was created by the Naruto I met in the future," responded Minato, slightly scared by Kakashi's looks using the technique. "As soon as Naruto learns it, he will be the one who will choose who will know it." "Naruto," said Kakashi, "if you teach me this jutsu as soon as you learn it, I will teach you an awesome jutsu that will surpass the one I already promised you. It's a deal, Kakashi-san. But it must be a really cool jutsu," said Naruto seriously with his foxy grin. Minato already knew the use that Kakashi was thinking for the jutsu, when he realized something. "Naruto, how did you created the Oiroke no jutsu?" asked Minato. Kakashi paled. I was bored, so I asked Kakashi-san something to do and he gave me these mangas. Then I had the idea for the jutsu and challenged Kakashi, explained Naruto proudly. Naruto, go back home, I'll catch you when I finish teaching my student the sort of things that kids your age should read, said Minato, cracking his knuckles, heading to the scared Jonin. Okay dad, see you soon Kakashi-san, said Naruto, leaving the house, oblivious to what was going to happen. Kakashi's screams were heard in all Konoha. Next afternoon Ino arrived at the Coliseum, surprised to see it filled by people wanting to see Naruto's father. The Dobi was missing for an entire week since the rumors of his father coming back start. The rumors said that the man was able to fly, kill with the sight, and that he killed an Anbu and a council member only because they pissed him off. She saw Sakura waving at her. Hey blonde pig, over there you can find free seats, said the pink-haired girl. There's no need to shout, that huge forehead of yours is visible in all the place, responded Ino. By the way Porker, your father is a member of the council, did he tell you something about Sakura? Stuck her tongue out at Ino. That Arashi guy? Asked Sakura. No he didn't, he was too busy in a special mission to bother with politicians, said Ino proudly. The truth was that his father was with Kuza and Shikaku hanging out by the bars, so they missed the meeting, but he wouldn't tell that to Forehead. How troublesome. The only free seats are on the side of the loudest girls, said a boy with a bored expression. Munch, 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 responded a chubby boy. Shikamaru, Kuji, don't sit here, one of the seats is for Sasuke-kun, told Sakura and Ino in unison. Shikamaru signed at the seats of the VIPs where the girls could see their precious Sasuke-kun being bothered by Naruto. They could see also Hyuga Hinata being seated in the other side of Naruto with a blush and twitching her fingers. Uchiha is on the seat reserved for his clan, that casually is on the side of the one that was assigned to Naruto's clan, said Shikamaru. Wait. Those seats are for the people of Konoha's major clans. Why the hell Naruto has one, said an indignant Sakura. It looks like there's a major bloodline in his clan, so his father received automatically a seat in the council. Now this show is to test his skill level to determine his ninja rank, said Shikamaru. Ha, it will be a miracle if he passed from Jinan, said Sakura. I bet that Sasuke can defeat him, said inner Sakura. I wouldn't do those speculations, our parents had an A-class mission with him where he saved their lives at the cost of receiving a kunai in the eye. It was in the times his name was Arashi Kazama, said Shikamaru. Kazama? My father told me that this guy killed an entire squadron of missing nins to save them, said Ino with a newfound respect in the voice. It's curious, men don't used to take their wives' family name when they marry. The doors of the arena opened, a lone figure with a black cloak got into the center of the stadium. That's Naruto's dad? Said Ino in disbelief. How can him be a relative of that mysterious and cool guy? You can't see his face, said Sakura. Sasuke-kun is more hot than him. But this guy is hot too, said inner Sakura. The crowds were having similar conversations when the Hokage spoke. Arashi Uzumaki, you have been called here to show your skills, so I, the Hokage and the Council of Konoha, will decide the place you'll have among our ninja ranks. The Hokage showed 3 boxes to the crowd. We have 3 boxes with tickets on them. The first one will decide how many matches you'll have, the second one the number of opponents you'll have to face, the third one the rank of your opponents. Based in this last one, your opponent's name will be decided randomly as soon as we know their ranks. You don't have to defeat them all, you only have to show us your skill and how you deal with the problems you are going to face, said the Hokage. Geku Hayate got into the arena. Cough, I will be the proctor of the match. You are forbidden to kill your adversaries, same goes for them. Cough, I also can determine if a match is finished. Cough, right? Arashi nodded. I'm ready, how many matches do I have to cope, Hokage-sama? The Hokage introduced his hand in the first box and took off a ticket. You'll have 5 matches, let's see. 4 opponents in the first match, Jinan rank. Minato smiled to himself. Random matches? It will be easier than he though. He didn't pay attention to the names of his opponents when they were called to fight. The Genins didn't take it well. Don't dare to underestimate us, you rank less Shinobi. We will show you to respect your superiors, said one of them. The reminder of his non-existing rank status pissed him off, so he decided to do some overkill over these brats. With a hand sign they were surrounded by 40 clones, and before they realized it they were under a rain of kunais. 2 seconds later the last of the Genins fell to the ground with bruises over all his body. Felt grateful for me using blunt kunais for you, responded Arashi. He is good, said one of the judges. None of those kunais made hit in a vital spot and he was able to create a large number of clones without effort. Winner, Arashi Uzumaki. Cough, said Hayate. The crowd was speechless, they didn't expect such a sword match. Second match, one opponent, Jonin rank, Hokage Kakashi entered the arena. "Please," said the Hokage. People started to whisper and bets were made. It was an exceptional event to see Hokage Kakashi, the copycat ninja, son of the White Fang and student of the Yellow Flash, fighting outside missions, and against the father of the Kyuubi boy. Said ninja got into slowly, with one of his arms in a sling and using a crutch for his bandaged leg. "Hayate-san, I'm sorry but I'm not in condition to fight, I must forfeit the match," said Kakashi. "Kakashi-san, can you explain us what happened to you?" asked the Hokage concerned. "Yesterday I had a sparring match and my opponent overdid a little," said Kakashi looking at Arashi. Arashi was looking to other side whistling with a little halo over his head. Before the Hokage could say anything, somebody shouted. Dynamic entry. The doors of the arena were blown and figure wearing a green jumpsuit made his appearance. "I'm Ito Guy, the beautiful green beast of Konoha challenge you, Arashi Uzumaki, in the place of my eternal rival." Minato looked scared at the newcomer. "No, another one no," thought. Flashback: Minato was planning a new team strategy for their next battle when. Dynamic entry. Minato barely dodged the kick, he looked annoyed at the perpetrator. Before him was a man dressed with a green spandex suit, a Jonin vest, a Konoha forehead protector as a belt and the most tacky leg warmers he had ever seen. The man himself had a strange bull-like haircut, a weird smile, his teeth were brighting anime style, a ridicule goatee, and the scariest eyebrows he had ever seen. They looked like hairy worms. "Who the hell are you? And why the hell you attacked me?" asked the Hokage. "My apologies Hokage-sama, my name is Ito Guy, and I'm the father and master of Ito Guy, the rival of your star pupil, Hokage Kakashi. I only tried to see if you could have a sparring match with me to honor the youthful rivalry of our students in this place of eternal youthfulness," said the man. Okay, let's see how powerful you are," responded Minato. "Yes, I felt that this is going to be the beginning of another youthful rivalry like I have already have with Sakumo." Minato was starting to regret accepting the sparring offer. Meanwhile, Hotake Sakumo, who saw the scene, was giving thanks to all deities for bringing him somebody else for being bothered by Goi. It was not like he hated the man, in fact he was his best friend and an invaluable ally, but sometimes he could be very annoying. He felt sorry for Kakashi in the case of Goi's son being like him. And flashback: "Who's that guy?" "He's weird," asked Naruto. "He is Ito Guy, Konoha's top specialist in the Goken. In fact he is the only man able to face a Hyuga Jonin in a taijutsu battle with the exception of the Hokage," said a boy with sunglasses. "You are Shino Aburame, don't you? From that clan who uses bugs as weapons," said Naruto. "Yes, I am. Tell me Naruto-san, is it true that you have a bloodline that enhances your healing?" "Yeah, we can heal any non-mortal wound in some hours, and it doesn't left scars, it also does more things that I don't remember," said Naruto proudly. "And Naruto-kun has his own blood limit? Perhaps Ayakiju use it for approach him, having something in common with him," thought Hinata. "Yes, she stutters even in her thoughts. Oomph, the perfect blood limit for a loser, you can receive beatings with more frequency," said Sasuke. "Shut up team. Now that I'm receiving my clan's special training from my father I can beat you easily," responded Naruto. Those words had an unexpected effect in Sasuke. They told him that now the Dobi has a clan, a family, something he lost, and for add salt in the wound, Naruto's father has been training him during all last week. Naruto probably has been receiving more attention from his father last week than him from his own father during the first 8 years of his life. "Don't scrub on my face that you are no longer an orphan," shouted Sasuke. Naruto realized that Sasuke was now the only orphan in their class. He remembered how was being the only kid without parents and how relieved he felt when he discovered that he wasn't the only orphan in class after the Uchiha massacre. Now he was seeing himself like a miserable for being relieved because one of his classmates was shared his luck. Sorry, Sasuke, I shouldn't have said that," apologized Naruto. "Forget it, I don't need your pity, let's see how powerful is your clan," said Sasuke looking at the arena. Meanwhile in the arena, cough, "Guy-san, you know, you could have opened the door, now you'll have to pay for it because you didn't do it during a combat," cough, said Hayate. "It won't matter to me as long as I have a good match against someone able to fight with my eternal rival," responded Guy. The organizers, after a quick chat, came to a decision and they told the Hokage. "Very well, it was decided that because Kakashi is not in condition to fight you'll face Ito Guy," said Sarutobi to Arashi. Arashi nodded. Arashi and Guy started to fight in a blur, Although they were used only taijutsu, they were displaying a level of skill and speed that didn't disappoint the crowd. I didn't know that Naruto's father was this good. I thought that he would be a taller version of Naruto, and the other guy fights even a little better than him, said Kiba to his mother. This is nothing, they both are much stronger than they look now, they are only testing each other, the true combat didn't start yet, my puppy, said Inuzu Kitsume to his son. Kiba blushed. Mom. Don't call me that in public. Tell me, Kuromaru was with you in that meeting of the council yesterday, didn't he? Was he able to measure Naruto's dad power? Asked Kiba. I'll call puppy wherever I like, responded Tsume with a smile, then her face turned more serious. Kiba, you won't believe this, but according to Kuromaru and my own experience, I think that Arashi Uzumaki is probably stronger than the Hokage. This morning I had a chat with Aburame Shibi and he thinks the same, said Tsume. You must be joking, Mom, there's no way that the family of that loser could be so strong, said Kiba. Kiba, said Tsume in that tone that means serious business and that Kiba learned to respect. Naruto was the dead last of your class because he didn't have anybody to help him in his studies, also because those areas where he excels are not given enough importance for Jonan but ironically are invaluable to the highest ranks. Kiba didn't say anything. If her sister wouldn't have helped him last year, he would be the dead last instead of Naruto. There's something else about Naruto I must tell you, said Tsume, gaining her son's attention. Kuromaru checked Naruto this morning without hypnotizing. I don't know what type of training has been doing with his father last week, but now he is almost as powerful as Sasuke and definitively more powerful than you. Kiba and Akamaru were looking at her like she had grown another head. You don't believe me, don't you? Said Tsume. You'll see it next month in the academy, in the parents' visit day, where the students make a display of their skills. Oh, look, Arashi is going to do something. In the arena the two contenders stopped the testing and Arashi spoke. Behold that disappearance technique, said, throwing a smoke bomb to the ground. When the smoke dispelled, Arashi was not in the arena. Arashi-kun, where are you? Show off and fight, don't use these unyouthful tactics, shouted Guy. But this is an unusual tactic for a ninja, thought Hayate, looking for Minato, then he stared in disbelief at one of the walls. The crowd took his example and also looked in disbelief at the wall. Arashi was standing by the wall covering himself with a blanket painted to look like the wall, his hands and his feet were visible. HMMPH, is that the best that your father can do? Teased Sasuke. Shut up, Sasuke, it only has to work with his adversary like it is doing now, responded Naruto, slightly embarrassed. Arashi, show yourself and fight, shouted Guy, looking to all directions. Naruto was saying the truth. Guy still didn't notice Arashi, to the crowd's disbelief. How the hell he made Jonin? Was the main thought of the villagers. Guy, I'm here, said Arashi, lowering the blanket with a sweat drop on his head. Finally you appear, take this, Konoha Senpu, said Guy, charging at super speed to an off-guard Arashi. As soon as Arashi was hit, he disappeared, making Guy hit the wall, breaking it and collapsing over the unprevented green beast. Arashi emerged from the group at the side of Hayate. Well, my initial plan worked, but I didn't expect that the Bunshine had to show off, said Arashi. He used a bad hidden clone as a bait to make Guy hit the wall, making it collapse over him. Good tactic, were thinking the examiners. Before Hayate could proclaim Arashi the victor of the match, Guy emerged from the debris like a flaming and youthful phoenix. Your speed is amazing, higher than mine. I didn't expect you could dodge me in the last second. Now I know there's only one way I could defeat you, said Guy seriously. Everyone fell anime style. That idiot thinks that I dodged him? Thought Arashi. Before Arashi could say anything, he felt a tremendous wave of chakra coming from Guy. First gate, open, shouted Guy. He is going to open the gates to match the super speed he thinks I have? Thought Minato. The fact was that as the Yellow Flash he was the fastest shinobi in existence, but he couldn't use the Sunshine no Jutsu or the Hiraishin without revealing his true identity. Second gate, open. The crowd was impressed by the power of Guy. Third gate, open. The doubts about Guy's rank disappeared like a dish of ramen in front of Naruto's room. Fourth gate, open, said Guy. His skin was already red and his pupils disappeared, giving him a fearful appearance. Arashi tried to reason with Guy. Guy, you don't have to force your body like this, I didn't DOD. Before he could finish, he was sent to the other side of the arena by one of Guy's punches, making him crash against another wall, disappearing in the dust. Dad, cried Naruto. I hope, that Naruto's dad would have survived, thought Hinata, concerned. Her hopes were listened when Arashi emerged from the debris with only few scratches. That hurt, you know? said Arashi, removing his cloak, showing his long spiky blonde hair. The female audience was literally drooling before the man's looks, and to addition of that, the hit opened fully his black jacket, exposing not only his chest but also his chocolate bar-like stomach. And Naruto-kun, will he turn Lee like this? Thought a very red Hinata. Her classmates and young girls in general were having similar thoughts. Then Arashi emitted waves of chakra like guys. First gate, open. Second gate, open. Third gate, open. Fourth gate, open, shouted Arashi. However, unlike Guy, he didn't turn red. How can the Dobi's father be so powerful? Thought Sasuke with astonishment. You want to play hard, eh? Said Minato. Come on, show me the flames of your youth, said Arashi. Yes, finally somebody with the youthfulness to match mine, shouted Guy happily, charging at Arashi. What came next was almost impossible to describe with words. The audience was speechless, trying to see the two blurs that the opponents have turned. In fact, it was easier to follow their movements looking at the floor that they were destroying and the tremendous sounds of the blows that the opponents were exchanging with each other. Kakashi was now in the same stand than the Hokage and the organizers, watching the match with his Sharingan eye. Kakashi-san, can you see what is happening? Asked one of them. Guy is delivering more blows to Arashi. His taijutsu is slightly better than Arashi's, but his body is being damaged by the gates, while Arashi's almost doesn't suffer anything from them. If they continue like this, Guy will be defeated by his own technique, said Kakashi, slightly concerned. Fifth gate, open, was heard by the crowd. Guy realized that he will lost if he continues like this. Guy, you stupid, opening more than 4 gates can cripple you, cried Kakashi. Sixth gate open, was heard. There was no reply from Arashi. Of course. His blood limit lets him cope better with the gates, but it doesn't let him open more than 4 gates, were thinking the counselors. Suddenly the sound of the blows stopped. Hayate looked at the sky. The crow follows his example. Arashi was trapped in bandages while Guy grabbed him from behind. Both of them were falling to the ground, spining. A motrenge was heard. Crack-a-boom. The impact was heard in all Konoha. The only that people could see in the arena was the huge cloud of dust crossed by it. Naruto had his heart in a fist, restraining himself for not jumping to the arena and disqualifying his father. People was staring speechless at the arena. The only thing they could heard were the coughs of the poor Hayate trapped in the cloud. When the cloud finally disappeared, people could see the coughing Hayate and 2 figures. One of them had the upper half of his body buried in the ground. It had green legs and orange warmers. Guy. The other one was shaking off the dust from his clothes, like nothing happened. Arashi. Hayate looked at Guy and headed to the crowd. Cough, cough, winner, Arashi Uzumaki, cough. The crowd exploded in cheers and applauses for both combatants. Yes, he won, shout Naruto, hugging the nearest person in his happiness. That person happened to be Hinata. The poor/lucky girl was speechless. And Naruto-kun is hugging me, thought before fainting. Would you mind release my daughter, Uzumaki-san? Asked Hyuga Hiyashi politely. She is not feeling very well now. Okay Hyuga-san, responded Naruto, noticing what he was doing. Do you know what happened to her? Said Naruto, concerned. Nothing serious, it comes from her mother's side, responded Hiyashi. She will be okay in a few minutes. Is she sick? Why, she is not in bed. She always turns red whenever I talk to her, said Naruto in his annoying questioning brat mode. Hiyashi ignored Naruto's questions and told him to look at the arena to see what happened to Guy. So she likes him, thought Hiyashi, looking at Hinata. I'll better keep this for myself, so she won't have problems derived from that. Meanwhile, Arashi and Hayate were pulling Guy's legs, unburying him, while a group of medics came to them with a stretcher. Be careful with him, there's a high chance of him having his skull damaged, warned one of them. Don't worry about that, responded Minato. His head is unbreakable. He uses a special jutsu in his hair that makes his hair harder than steel. That's the reason he has this bowl-like haircut. It works like a helmet. As a demonstration, Minato threw a shuriken to Guy's head. It bounced to everyone's surprise. Ah, my youthful opponent has figured out my little secret, said Guy, trying to get up. Yes, I created this jutsu using my family's secret hair gel recipe and combining it with this ultra-cool hair dress, said Guy, waking up. Family secret hair gel recipe? Thought everyone with a sweat drop. By the way, Uzumaki-san, how did you manage to turn my own technique against me? Asked Guy, pointing at Arashi until his wrist broke. Keep yourself still, exploded one of the medics. All your body has severely damaged due to your self-destroying techniques. You'll take at least 1 week in bed, Uzumaki-san, told the Hokage. Would you mind explain to the crowd how did you escape such a dangerous attack? It's very simple. I use the enhanced Kawarimi. It is one of my clan's jutsus. It switches my position and posture with my opponents, so it was Guy who received all the force of the impact plus the injuries derived from being the one performing the jutsu, said Arashi, putting back his cloak and hood. Then he closed his jacket, making the adult and not so adult women in the crowd whimper a little. The Shinobis and the Kunoikis who took their jobs seriously were trying to digest Arashi's words. Here there was a ninja with a jutsu that was able to turn all attacks made at him against his opponents. How to fight somebody who can make you kill yourself with the shuriken you threw at him. However, it takes insane amounts of chakra to work, so it cannot be used as often as the normal Kawarimi, finished Arashi. Although it has that drawback, it is still a terrific jutsu, thought most of the ninjas. Wow, and my clan is the only which has such a super kick-ass jutsu, said Naruto proudly. Sasuke didn't say anything, but his mind was a storm of thoughts. The Dobi will be the only one learning that jutsu? Why? Other people were having more sinister thoughts. We must prevent the demon child learning the jutsu, were thinking many of the ungrateful bastards. Uzumaki Arashi, said Guy, from now you will be my second eternal rival. May the youthfulness be with you, said while he was taking away from the arena. No, shout Arashi. Thank you sensei, thought Kakashi, now I have more time for myself. Okay, said the Hokage, we will give you an hour for resting and then we will proceed with the third combat. Third match, 3 opponents. His face paled a little. Jonin rank, then his eyes took the size of dishes. Your opponents will be Akimichi Kuza, Yamanaka Inoiki, and Narashikaku. Arashi nodded, still shocked with Guy's speech, then he sat on the ground and took a meditation posture. Hey, my dad is now going against Shikamaru's, Choji's and Ino's parents. I expect my father won't be too harsh with them, said Naruto. The most probable thing that will happen is that he will lost against them, Uzumaki-san, said Hiyashi. F father? And Naruto-kun's father cannot win? Asked Hinata, who woke up a minute earlier. Yeah, why do you think my father cannot kick their butts? Said Naruto indigant. Very simple, he is 1 against 3 jonins and no ordinary jonins. The Shikai no Cho team has been considered the best example of teamwork in all Konoha since the Senins, but not as powerful. After what we saw in the last match, I see that your father could defeat each one of them in an one-on-one combat, but he has no chance against their teamwork because they counter each other's weakness, said Hiyashi. Did somebody defeated them together, father? Asked Hinata, taking a glance at Naruto without him noticing. Hiyashi nodded. Yes, the 4th Hokage was able to fight them. He was the Yellow Flash after all, responded Hiyashi. Then my father will defeat them too, said Naruto, trying not to smile. DCHK, how the hell I will manage to defeat those 3? Thought Minato, I can't use the Sunshine without revealing myself. And the other techniques I know would kill them. Meanwhile in the crowd. Your father will fight Naruto's, porker, said Sakura. Now you will see some high-class shinobi fighting and not that useless skills of yours, forehead, responded Ino. Troublesome, now Naruto will be bothering us to fight him to avenge his father's honor, said Shikamaru. But if my suspicions about him are true, then our parents will be in a true trouble, thought Shikamaru. Munch, 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 Kuji was too busy with his chips to talk. The hour passed. Narashikaku, Akimichi Kuza, and Yamanaka Inoiki, please step to the arena, said the Hokage. Nothing happened, people started to lost patience. Yamato, said the Hokage. Yes Hokage-sama? Said the Anbu, materializing behind him. Form a team and look after those 3, you know where to find them. Hi, Hokage-sama, responded Yamato, disappearing. 10 minutes later Yamato and his men appeared in the arena dragging the trio. We found them in the usual sake bar, Hokage-sama, said Yamato. The crowd laughed while Shikamaru, Kuji and Ino were trying to hide the embarrassment they got from their fathers. Good to see you again Kazama-san, or I should say Uzumaki-san? Greeted Shikaku. Arashi didn't say anything. Hey, we know you must be upset with us for make you wait, but at least you should say hello, said Kuza. Arashi didn't respond anything. Hey, tell something, this is no way to treat somebody who made missions with you, shouted Inoiki. Hayate approached Arashi, took a look at him and patted his shoulder. Cough, Uzumaki-san, wake up, your opponents are here, cough, said Hayate. Arashi got up, yawned a little, and greeted the Jonins. Shikaku-kun, Kuza-kun, Inoiki-kun. Glad to see you again. As soon as this finished we could go to a bar to remember old times, said Arashi casually. Everyone sweat-dropped. Okay, cough, second match, Arashi Uzumaki vs Shikaku Nara, Uzumaki Michi, and Inoiki Yamanaka, cough, Hajime, shout Hayate. Kuza used his partial body expansion to grow his arms and hit Arashi. He barely dodged them. Kuza moved at an incredible speed for a man of that size. Meanwhile Shikaku and Inoiki threw shuriken and kunais to distract Arashi. The masked blonde didn't have time to take a break. Whenever he tried to attack one of them, the others attacked him, obliging him to stay on defensive all time. I'll have to use it, thought Arashi. He took something from his pouch and threw it at Kuza. Apparently he didn't notice Shikaku moving to his left side. Kuza blocked it with his staff, then he paled. Sticked in his staff was a kunai with a tag. The seal of the tag activated, but instead of an explosion, Kuza was wrapped in a sticky web, leaving him immobilized. Like it? It's the seal of the spider's web, one of my clan's secret seals, said Arashi smiling under his mask. Then he stopped moving. Kage no jutsu, success, said Shikaku. You should have keep watch to your left side, being blind in that eye after that mission. Meanwhile Inoiki was doing the seal of the Shinshin no jutsu while Kuza freeing himself from the web. Wait a minute, said Ino. We saw that Arashi was not blind in that eye in his fight against the Green Freak. Of course, said Shikamaru, our parents were not in yesterday's meeting of the council, so they don't know about his blood limit that heals any non-mortal wound. But then, if he knew that your father was going to attack him by that side, why he left himself fall into the jutsu? Asked Kuji, interrupting his meal. I don't know, Arashi must be planning something, responded Shikamaru. Inoiki performed his jutsu, but to everyone's surprise Arashi moved at high speed, taking a small scroll from his pouch and releasing something from one of the seals. When the small cloud dissipated, Arashi was grabbing a small mouse by the tail. What it feels to be a mouse, Inoiki? Said Arashi to the mouse. The poor Inoiki was too shocked to respond anything. Shikaku was shocked for his jutsu malfunctioning. Kuza was still too busy with the web to ask anything. The crowd was wondering why Arashi had a mouse sealed in a scroll. The ninjas were wondering why Shikaku's jutsu didn't work, while the ninjas who were versed in sealing were wondering how Arashi managed to seal a living animal. Well done, Dad, now you have a hostage, cheered Naruto, not noticing the blonde girl who got into the VIP seats. Naruto, shouted Ino, grabbing him by the neck, tell your father to release mine. Naruto was too busy trying to breath to say anything. Aino-chan, please leave, and Naruto-kun breath, said Hinata. Meanwhile Inoiki released the jutsu and came back to his body, and Kuza finally got free from the web. Why my jutsu didn't work on you? Asked Inoiki. You know it was coming to you, don't you? Yes, responded Arashi, sealing the mouse again and taking off his hood so they could see his eyes. I saw your attack because I was not blind of my left eye. It healed the day after the mission because my blood limit. If you had come to yesterday's meeting you would have known about it. In a reproach tone, we were in a special mission, said Kuza. Yes, keeping watch of the sake bottles, thought those ninjas who were with them yesterday. The reason your jutsu didn't work with me. Well, it never caught me. Look at my feet. Everyone looked at Arashi's feet, then those with better sight had their jaws touching the floor. He is floating. Arashi rised until his feet were a meter above the ground so everyone could see it. He can fly, was heard in the crowd. The Black Angel Eye is real. Yes, it's him, troublesome, thought Shikamaru. So, he came back too. I must find a way to approach him, thought Shino. If I had a squad of ninjas able to do that I could conquer all elemental countries in 2 years, thought Dansu. Well done Dad, cheered Naruto. Dumn it, my jutsus won't work against him, thought Shikaku. I should tell Ino to be friendlier with Naruto, thought Inoiki. Many parents were having similar thoughts. I'm hungry, thought Kuza. Cough, what is the mouse for? Cough, asked Hayate. I use it with a spoon for torture. I mean for interrogation, he, responded Arashi with a happy face under his mask. However, said Arashi in a more serious tone looking at the trio, it won't work against you three, you are very good trained against pain. But not against pleasure. Arashi started a set of hand signs. Prepare for anything, said Shikaku. Kuza and Inoiki took fighting stances, preparing themselves for everything. The crowd was in a trance, thirsty for seeing more new jutsus. Arashi finished his hand signs and a huge explosion of smoke happened. When the smoke dispelled, everybody had the jaw on the ground. Shikaku, Kuza and Inoiki found themselves surrounded by very beautiful women dressed with revealing outfits and giggling seductively. Oh my! Your scars are so sexy. You have such a manly face. And that hair. Tee-hee, I like big men because they have big. You know. Tee-hee, you can use the Baiken no Jutsu with any part of your body, right? I want this jutsu, thought the men. Perverts, thought the women. The poor trio was blushing, trying to contain nosebleeds when they felt an intense killer intent. 3 women appeared in the arena looking at the men with very angry faces. "Yoshino, dear, it is not what it looks," said Shikako to his furious wife. "Inara, it is not my fault it is," said Inoiki to the blonde one. "Sweetie, said Kuza to a very beautiful, and not fat, brunette. "Very well," said Yoshino to her husband, "let's go home and explain me everything," said, grabbing him strongly by the hand. "But dear, I'm in the middle of a combat," begged Shikaku. "Against those?" shout Yoshino, pointing at the women. "No my love, let's go home," responded Shikaku. Similar scenes were saw with the other couples. They left the arena. "Yeah, that means I won?" asked Arashi, making the women disappear. Cough. For leaving the arena, Nara, Shikaku, Akimichi, Kuza and Yamanaka and Inoiki are disqualified. Winner Uzumaki Arashi, shout Hayate. This time nobody cheered. They never expected such an anticlimactic end. The judges were talking among them. He made them left arena, putting them in a compromising situation with their wives. This is the most unorthodox tactic I ever saw. How Kuza managed to have such a beauty. The Hokage regained the composture and proceed to talk. "Okay. Let's see who will fight in the 4th match." After a beaten Kakashi left the office looking for a doctor, the Sundaime headed to Minato. "Minato, I think I must give you back this," said Sarutobi, handing Minato a big envelope. "What is this?" "Oh. I see," said Minato when he opened it. Inside the envelope there were 2 little boxes, a keyring with some keys, a hair clip and 2 smaller envelopes. Minato opened the boxes. There was a platinum ring in each of them. "Our wedding rings." He looked at the one that one day was in Kushina's finger. "I will store you. For a girl. A girl who will love Naruto and he will love back. Somewhere in Konoha at you. Are you alright, Nei-chan?" asked a little girl. "Why yes Hanabi-chan," responded a girl who obviously was her big sister. "I hope I'm not getting a cold." Back in the Hokage's office, Minato took the keyring. "Our house's keys," said Minato, putting them in his pocket. "As soon as I finish next week's test we will move there," Naruto said, looking at his son. He looked at the hair clip and his face saddened. "You took this from Kushina before her burial," said to the cage. "Yes, I thought Naruto would like to have something that belonged to his mother," responded Sarutobi. "Thank you, Sarutobi-sama, I think it will go with the ring. Somewhere in Konoha at you." This time a girl sneezed over her cousin with the misfortune of letting his perfect hair soaked with mucus. "I am SOS sorry Najini-san," said the embarrassed girl. "No. Why fate hates me so much," thought the boy. Back in the Hokage's office, Minato took one of the envelopes. "The letter I wrote to Naruto before the sealing," said, taking one of the envelopes. Minato remembered that letter with pain. In it Minato explained to Naruto why he was chosen for being the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi, why a Kage can't demand to his subordinates something he wouldn't do. It also told him how he was desired by both his parents, how they wanted to start a family. That part of the letter was blotted by the tears he couldn't contain while writing it. The worst part was the farewell, asking Naruto to look after Kushina and telling them to forgive him. "But things got worse than we expected. We lost her minutes before you lost me, my kid," thought Minato. Minato started to tear apart the letter, to Sarutobi's disbelief. "What are you doing?" "This letter was for Naruto," yelled. "What I told him in that letter, now I can tell it to him personally," said Minato with a smile that faded in a second. "I'll be the one who will tell him about the burden. I don't know how to tell him. It terrifies me more than when I thought I was going to spend the rest of eternity in an eternal digestion in the stomach of the god of death." "Don't worry," said Sarutobi, putting a hand on Minato's shoulder. "Naruto is the most forgivable person I know. I bet that he won't hate you." Minato took the other envelope. "What is this?" "It's a letter." "For who?" asked Minato, puzzled. "I never dreamed that this letter would reach to one of the persons it was assigned." "Minato, this is a letter that Naruto wrote to you and Kushina," said Sarutobi, smiling. What?" Sarutobi started his explanation. "One day Naruto came to me asking why his parents abandoned him. Suddenly all Konoha felt again the killer intent of a scorned Hokage. We didn't abandon him. WHO told that? I'll chop them to pieces. It was an old lady who loved to spread false rumors. I ordered Aviki to cut her tongue and then I asked her politely to leave Konoha and never return if she didn't want to be Enma's next meal," responded Sarutobi without losing his fatherly smile. Minato gave him thumbs up and let him continue. "As I was saying, Naruto asked me why his parents abandoned him. Obviously I told that he was not abandoned. That he was an orphan whose parents died in the Kyuubi attack. Instead of feeling relieved, he felt sad. Why? Interrupted Minato. Because he used to think that someday his parents would come back with him. Sarutobi smiled. Now I see Ath was right. Minato smiled back, looking at the sleeping Naruto. Sarutobi resumed his story. Then I told him that he should write somewhere what he felt to feel better. Next day he came back with a letter he said he wrote to his parents telling what he felt about them. He asked me to take it to the other world and give it to them because I was the oldest person he knew, so I was the one with more probabilities to meet them soon, said smiling. The Hokages laughed for a while by the kid's occurrence. So, Naruto tells in this letter what he feels about Kushina and me, said Minato, looking at the letter with anxiety. Sarutobi nodded. Yes, I don't know what it says, you should read as soon as you come back to Naruto's apartment, said. Where does he live? Asked Minato, a little concerned. He lives in Kushina's old apartment. I warn you that he cleans it as often as his mother, so expect a war zone, said Sarutobi. Minato nodded, said goodbye to the Sandaime and left to the apartment with the still sleeping Naruto. He arrived and created some clones to gather some of his belongings from the Hokage's warehouse. When he got into the house, he almost expected to see Kushina greeting him. He took breath and created some demi bunshines to clean the place while he took Naruto to his room. He changed his son into his hippo pajamas, put him in the bed. Sleep well, my Naruto, tomorrow we'll have a lot of things to talk, whispered Minato to his kid, kissing his forehead. Minato then opened the envelope with the letter that was not expected to be opened. To Mom and Dad, hi, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. Oh well, you must know it because you are my parents. I live in the village of Konoha. It's a great place to live, although it's the only place I know. I don't remember many things when I was little. I lived all my life in my apartment, with a different person looking for me each day. Much of them were polite while others were waiting to get out of the place as soon as possible, ignoring me. Sometimes I heard someone giggling and I thought I saw a guy with a strange mask reading a book, but he disappears as soon as I got near. Kakashi in his Onbo suit, obviously taking a break, thought Minato, smiling. As soon as I was 6 years old, nobody else came anymore for a look after me. The Hokage told me that I was ready to look after myself. Then I got into the ninja academy. I thought it would be fun, but everybody still ignored me. I don't know why. One day I dropped a thumbtack by accident and Iruka-sensei stepped on it. He used his scary big head jutsu to warn me to don't do pranks, but everybody laughed. So I started to do pranks so everybody would stop ignoring me. Minato had a sad smile. I like ramen, the color orange and ninja stuff. I hate the 3 minutes it takes the ramen to be done and when people ignores me. Now I'm 9 years old and I'm studying to be a ninja. G-san, the Hokage, told me that you both were ninja who fought with the Yondaime against the Kyuubi years ago. That guy was so cool. Everybody praises him. Some people smile at me sometimes when they talk about him while others look at me with hate. When I ask them why they are angry with me, they simply left mumbling curses. I made a decision. I will become Hokage so everybody will acknowledge me. Then I won't be alone. I will have friends, even a family like the rest of people. Then the letter turned more dark. Why did you have to die? Why you both? I'm sorry, Naruto. Most evenings I don't want to go back to a home without anybody waiting for me. I hate when the parents come to take back their children home, the happy they are and the way they look at the orphan. I don't even know your faces or your names. Did you love me? Minato couldn't contain the tears. I think the answer is yes. Iruka-sensei says that those who sacrificed themselves for the village did it because they wanted to protect their loved ones. Their sacrifices are a sign of love. I don't know what happened to you. Sometimes when I'm very sad I feel like a voice encouraging me not to give up. I think it's you. Mom, Dad, whoever you are. I love you. Naruto. PD, take a look at the back of the letter. Minato's heart melted. In the back of the letter there was a child-made drawing of a family, a blonde child with whiskers marks who was holding hands with a man and a woman who were dressed in ninja attire. The man looked like an older version of the kid with beard, while the woman was a redhead with long hair which reached the shoulders and had an orange ribbon. That night the fourth Hokage, who was known as the most powerful of all, cried for hours. Yes, you won again, Dad, shouted a happy Naruto, hugging the closest person to him. This time it was Sasuke. Release me, idiot, yelled Sasuke. If I were at Naruto-kun's side and now he would be hugging me, thought Hinata sadly. Get off your hands of my Sasuke-kun, yelled Ino to the other blonde. Ugh, I was hugging Sasuke, yelled Naruto, realizing what he'd done. Hinata, Ino, please stay near me next time my dad wins, begged Naruto to the two girls. Like hell I'll let you hug me, said Ino, leaving the VIP seats. Then, and Naruto-kun will hug me again. thought Hinata, turning red. Meanwhile in the arena, the truth is that I wanted them pass out from a nosebleed, thought Minato. The Hokage headed to Minato. Arashi Uzumaki, do you want to take a rest or do we pass to the next match? I'm ready for the next match, Hokage-sama, responded Arashi. The Hokage proceeded to check who will be Arashi's opponent's fourth match. 5 opponents. Anbu, said the Hokage, worried. Your opponents will be bear, rat, cat, crow and chameleon. Minato, you must be careful with those opponents, especially bear, thought Sarutobi. I'll have to fight serious against those, thought Arashi. I'll have to use some of the techniques I wanted to hide. The 4 Anbu appeared in the arena in a swirl of leaves. All of them, minus Crow, looked confident. Hayate shouted, fourth match, cough, begin. Hizashi, shouted Arashi while shooting a ray made of chakra from his palm at Rat, breaking his armor and sending him to the wall, knocking him unconscious. Everybody was speechless. Did you like my jutsu? Taunted Arashi. I designed it with Hizashi Hyuga years ago, but I was not able to master it until a few years. It's a pity he didn't live to see the result of our efforts, but I named it like him in his memory. Whispers and murmurs were among the crowd. How many unknown jutsus have the Uzumakis? Hyuga Neji was shocked. That jutsu was designed by father? I must convince that man to teach it to me. Bear was immersed in his own thoughts. So it was true that he trained with Hizashi. This jutsu is a chakra ray shoot at high speed and with great impact force, thought Bear, looking at the unconscious Rat. The main weakness of the Hyugas is that we are close-range fighters. With this jutsu at our disposal, he was interrupted by Arashi's cries. Hizashi, 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 shouted Arashi while shooting his rays. However, this time his opponents were ready for the attacks and they were able to dodge them by inches. The missing rays left circular holes where they hit. DCHK, I can't waste more chakra with these. And there is a big chance to hit somebody of the crowd if I miss. Neither I can try to keep close to them because there's a big chance of the ray killing or crippling them at short range, thought Arashi. His thoughts were interrupted by the elemental attacks of Cat and a reluctant Crow, while Bear attacked with kunai and shurikens with an aim that only the owner of a dojutsu could have. The stadium was overwhelmed by the explosions. The place where Arashi was became a huge hole in the arena. You ups, we overdid a little, said Cat with his behind his neck. It couldn't affect him. He must be somewhere, shouted Crow, keeping on guard. Hayate looked at the sky. Everybody followed his example. Arashi was floating with some clones, writing something in tags. Crow noticed that he was charging them with huge amounts of chakra. He is creating explosive tags. We can't let him finish them, shouted Bear. They attacked him with shurikens, kunais and elemental attacks. Arashi created a barrage of clones to block them. When the smoke disappeared, only remained one Arashi floating in the sky with kunais equipped with explosive tags. Feel the wrath of my improved explosive tags, said Arashi. Arashi bombed the Anbu, obviously not trying to them, so they were able to dodge them all. However, the explosions had doubled the power of the normal explosive tags, making it very hard to them to dodge all. Soon the arena looked like a devastated battlefield. The Anbu started they counter-attack with their own range attacks. Unfortunately for Arashi, he didn't have the same maneuverability flying that he had in land, so he had really trouble avoiding all the attacks. Then some of the shurikens he dodged almost hit a kid of the crowd. Luckily for the kid, Asuma blocked them. Minato landed in the arena, realizing that the aerial combat was a risk for the public. Why he landed? Asked Kuji. He was dominating them with that tactic, Munch. He realized that the missing attacks at him would hit the crowd. As a ninja of Konoha, he can't risk the lives of its inhabitants, responded Shikamaru. You love the village and its people more than you think, Minato, thought Sarutobi happily. Amazing, he was able to improvise explosive tags in the middle of the battle, and those tags doubled the power of the usual ones. Only seal masters can do that. Why we didn't know of that ninja before? Thought one of the judges. Naruto, watch this. One of the jutsus that your future self created, thought Minato, looking at his son. Arashi made the hand seal of the cage bunshine. An explosion of smoke followed. When it cleared, there stood Minato alone. Ha, 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 he failed, mocked Cat, pointing with a finger. Then he stopped laughing, keeping freeze in the position. I can't move, someone is grabbing me, yelled. Hizashi, shouted Arashi again, hitting Cat and making his suffer the same destiny as Rat. Bear looked surprised, then he gave a kick to the ground, sending a wave at sand to Crow. But surprisingly it didn't hit Crow. The sand covered some figures which looked like Arashi. He is using invisible clones, said Bear. He used then for immobilize Cat and hit him. Futon clones, said Arashi, dispelling them. Being made of air makes them invisible and they don't leave traces. They have the drawback that they require insane amounts of chakra even for a Jonin. Only your kind can see them, don't you? Hyuga? Bear took the Jukin fighting stance. Then there's no need to hide my true power, said Bear. Then he looked at Crow. Crow, don't interfere with us. Crow didn't protest. Perfect, without Ebisu interference I will beat this one easily, thought Arashi with a smirk under his mask. Arashi took out 2 kunais from his pouch. All ninjas paled when they saw that those kunais were tree-pronged ones. Bear noticed that Arashi focused wind chakra throughout the kunais, increasing their reach. He is using the same technique that Asuma with his knives, thought Sarutobi relieved. For a moment I thought he was going to blow his cover. Now those tree-pronged kunais with extended reach and sharpness because the wind will be terrific weapons. Arashi and Bear began to fight. Bear had no choice but to fight in the defense of avoiding Arashi's attacks because the advantage of reach. He also couldn't block if he didn't want to lose a finger. Hyuga Hiyashi smiled. Arashi's opponent already defeated opponents who tried to use elemental enhanced weapons against him. Bear left an opening. Arashi tried to take advantage of it, but it was a trap. Kaiden, shouted Bear, sending Arashi throughout the skies, losing the kunais. It wouldn't happen to me with my knives with holes for the fingers, thought Asuma. Arashi was able to land on his feet, only to find Bear waiting for him. You are on my range of divination, said Bear. Shit, thought Arashi. People saw the fury of the Haki Hyaku Nayuhachisu. 128 points of chakra. Yes, I used a Naruto's guide to write it, over the black-cloaked figure. 126, 127, 128, shouted Bear finishing his move. You are really an impressive opponent, Uzumaki-san. But as you can feel the Jukin style is invincible, said Bear with his arms crossed. I feel nothing, Hyuga-san. However Crow is not so lucky after receiving your attack, said Arashi in the place where Crow was before. Bear was shocked noticing that he beat up his partner. I see, said Bear regaining his composure. You used that enhanced Kawarimi of yours to switch place with Crow. Yes, I'll apologize to him later. Now prepare to lose. Cage Bunshine no Jutsu, shouted Arashi making his clones charge. It won't work against me, Kaiten, responded Bear destroying the clones. However, while Bear was spinning destroying the clones, Minato flew over the Kaiten dome with a swirling sphere in his hand. He spins clockwise, like those who receive the jutsu I will use, thought Arashi. Rasengan, shouted Arashi. There was a tremendous chakra explosion for the consequence of the confronting of the 2 A-class jutsus, one made for attack, the other made for defense. The crowd closed their eyes as consequence of the light generated. When they were able to see again, they saw Arashi landing with some bruises. By his part, Bear was intact. People would say that he won the confront if it were not for the fact that he had almost all his body buried in the ground, only leaving the head and the shoulders out. He turned our best defense against him, using the Rasengan to make the Kaiden drill the ground harder, thought Hiyashi horrified. Why the hell is he looking at me now? Well done, Dad, you're the best, cheered Naruto thinking that his father was looking at him. Bear was as strong as Hisashi. How strong are you, Hiyashi-san? Thought Arashi looking at the other clan leader. He headed to the trap Tanbu. This is impossible, babbled Bear. You're intact? The Jukin style is really invincible. Men not. I'll look forward our next battle, Bear-san, said pinching Bear in the neck, knocking him out. Arashi proceeded to unbury Bear. When he finished he noticed that something was out. I was supposed to fight 5 Anbu, where's the 5th? Asked Arashi. Just waiting of yourself being tired enough to fall in my trap, Uzumaki-san, said Chameleon materializing before him. You abandon your partners? Asked Arashi. First, they are not my partners, responded Chameleon. Second, you already fell into my genjutsu, prepare to revive your worst memories. What the? No, cried Arashi. The last thing he saw before entering the nightmare were the Sharingan eyes that the Anbu had behind his mask. You abandon your partners? Asked Arashi. First, they are not my partners, responded Chameleon. Second, you already fell into my genjutsu, prepare to revive your worst memories. What the? No, cried Arashi. The last thing he saw before entering the nightmare were the Sharingan eyes that the Anbu had behind his mask. Minato was now reviving the most traumatic things that happened to him. First memory, Arashi Namikaze stuck the katana into his heart, to the horror of his 9-year-old son, Minato. And Namikaze-sama. Why? Asked Minato trying to contain the tears. Arashi Namikaze smiled at his son, a drop of blood fell from his mouth. I made this to break the evil traditions that cursed our family. And now you are the only heir of our clan. Why you didn't gain the place killing me? The traditions are now destroyed, the clan is now destroyed. And now you can create new rules to your new clan. Rules that will help your family instead of destroying it, like will happen to the Hyugas. Daddy, please don't leave me, cried Minato, not containing the tears anymore. Why you called me dad, said Arashi, I love how it sounds. Please be a better father than me. I love you, my son. Daddy? Dad, cried Minato. The kid was the next hours crying, hugging his father's corpse. Second memory: the Kyuubi was fighting the defenders of Konoha. Those ninjas were trying to buy time to their leader. Minato followed the trace of blood, praying that his suspicions were wrong, but the place where they were leading only confirmed what he feared. The baby Naruto started to cry, feeling his father's worry. Minato kissed his forehead, calming him down. Minato arrived to the flower prairie where he confessed Kushina his love, where she hugged him in tears, saying that she also loved him. In the end of the trace of blood was her, with her back leaned against the tree where wrote their names. She had a horrible bleeding wound in the abdomen. Kushina, cried Minato, rushing to his love. She didn't respond. Kushina, wake up. Please, tell me something, said Minato, touching her face. She opened her eyes slowly. Minato? It's you, said her, trying to keep awake. Don't talk, my love. I'll bring you to the hospital, you will heal, said Minato in despair. And no. It's too late for me, Min-kun, responded her in pain. No, responded him, trying to deny what both of them knew. The medics will do something. Why you can't know that it's too late, my love, whispered her. Minato knew it was a miracle that she was still alive. She would be dead before he took her to hospital. And the stress of the Hirishim would kill her if he tried to teleport to other place. His love was going to die. Why, Kushina? Why? Why did you join the ninja army against the monster after giving birth a few days ago? You knew that Naruto was going to lose his father and become the jailer of the fox, said Minato, trying to contain his tears. I thought that perhaps if more ninjas fought the fox we could defeat him, said Kushina between tears of pain and guilt. That perhaps wouldn't lose you and our baby wouldn't be condemned to have a monster inside him. And now our Nick and will be alone. Don't worry, Kushi-chan. He will be treated as a hero. He will have a family that will make him happy, said a teary Minato, not knowing what fate had reserved to their child. Naruto, feeling the sadness of his parents, started to cry. Let me hold him for a last time, said Kushina, holding out her arms to Naruto with great effort. Minato nodded and gave the baby to Kushina. She hugged him tenderly. He calmed down. Minato-kun, said her, looking at her husband with tears. I love you. I always loved you, since the day we met. I also love you, my Kushi-chan. Since I discovered that my best friend was the most wonderful girl of the world, responded him. Kushina started to sing a lullaby to Naruto. Minato was speechless. He never heard her sing. It was the most beautiful thing he had ever heard. Their baby fell asleep. Then the lullaby stopped. Kushina didn't move. Kushina? Asked Minato, tell me something. He looked at her eyes. Kushi-chan? Her beautiful blue eyes had lost that spark of life that characterized her. Forever. For a few seconds he was immobilized, then he got up and roared a cry that only the deepest desperation could create. In other place the Kyuubi heard that cry, and his curiosity made him head to the source of such desperation, forgetting the ninjas. They were horrified by the cry. On the next days they described it as if someone had his soul ripped. Baby Naruto started to cry again. Minato took off Naruto from his mother's hands, then he closed her eyes, lied her down over the flowers, letting her long red hair spread it. He kissed her on the lips for last time. Goodbye forever, my love. I wish I could go to the same place as you, whispered Minato. Then he took the crying Naruto, who was extending his tiny arms, trying to reach her mom. Minato felt the monster coming. He took Naruto and quickly left the prairie. They won't defile Kushina's resting place with their fight. Come on, son. Let's go avenge your mother, whispered to Naruto before summoning Game Abunta. In the stadium Arashi roared the most terrifying cry that the younger generations have ever heard. The older ones, especially those who fought the fox, recognized the sound that accompanied many of their nightmares about that night. He was the one who made the fox leave the battlefield, thought Asuma. He probably doesn't know it, but he saved a lot of lives that night. What is that guy doing to my dad? Asked Naruto, angry, ready to jump to the arena. Hiyashi felt the killer intent of the boy and Goi, ready to knock him down in the event of the seal weakening. However, it was Shino who solved the situation. Naruto, calm down. Your father is trapped in a genjutsu, I bet he will escape it. If not, then remember that his adversary can't kill him. If you intervene he will be disqualified, said the boy, putting his hand in Naruto's shoulder. Naruto nodded with a grunt and sit down. Chameleon charged at Arashi with his sword ready to cut his head. Hayate noticed too late the true purposes of the Anbu. Minato was paralyzed, not noticing the incoming attack. A voice cried in Arashi's head. Minato, move out. Arashi regained his senses and blocked the attack in the last second with one of his tree-pronged kunais. Hayate felt relieved and wondered how Arashi managed to regain his kunais. Then Arashi kicked Chameleon in the gut, sending him backwards. He created a cage Bunshine before him, said Bunshine made a set of hand signs. Funjutsu, sealed eyes, shouted the Bunshine, slamming his fingers around Arashi's eyes. That is one of the Yondame's techniques, thought Hiashi, it turns the receiver blind. Chameleon got up. It's a risky idea, Arashi-kun. Blinding yourself for avoid my eyes, said the false Anbu. I don't need to see you to kick your sorry ass, said Arashi, pointing with the kunai at his adversary. He would have looked really cool if he weren't pointing to a sweat-dropping Hayate. Chameleon made the hand signs for a jutsu and suddenly Arashi threw a pair of kunais with tags at him. He stopped the signs in order to dodge the kunais when the tags worked. Release, shouted Arashi, making a hand sign. The storage seals of the tags released a greasy liquid, soaking Chameleon. He altered the Funjutsu for not turned completely blind, but enough for not been affected by eye-based genjutsus, said Sarutobi to one of the judges. This is oil, said Chameleon. Correct, said Arashi with a smirk under his mask. So, no katanjutsus allowed, cage Bunshine no jutsu. The army of clones charged at Chameleon. Unfortunately they had a limited sight while their opponent had the power of the Sharingan, so he didn't have much trouble dispatching them. Gotcha, shouted Arashi when the Anbu made hit in a particular clone. Instead of disappearing in a poof of smoke, the clone exploded in flames, igniting the oil over the Anbu. Arg, cried Chameleon, rolling in the ground, trying to vanish the flames while taking off the clothes. Arashi's adversary finally managed to extinct the flames, however he had first and second degree burns over his body, but he was able to save his face from the fire. What do you think of the Katan Bunshine? Mocked Arashi. It's an Uchiha secret jutsu, created by your father. Itachi-san. You'll die for this, Uzumaki, shouted Itachi while his Sharingan took a shuriken-like appearance. I still didn't finish to pay you for what I had to relive with your genjutsu. Now you'll see my true power, shouted Arashi, taking his hand to the mask for remove it. Before they could do anything, a squad of Anbu, many Jonins and the Hokage and his battle gear were in the arena. Itachi Uchiha, said the Hokage, you are under arrest, surrender without resistance or you'll be eliminated. Minato, I don't know what he did to you, but you almost blow your cover, thought. Itachi, shouted Sasuke, trying to jump into the arena. However he was stopped by Shino, who was able to cover him with his bugs. They drained his chakra, leaving him unconscious. What are you done to him? Asked Naruto, still suppressed by the turn that the combat took. I drained his chakra to knock him down. He would have been killed if he joined the incoming battle, responded the Aburame. Perhaps I should let you go, traitor meat, thought, looking at Sasuke. Before anybody could do anything, the arena was deluged by water. Everybody in the arena stuck into the walls, saving Arashi's former adversaries. Arashi floated over the water, trying to find Itachi and probably Kisame, but he still had his sight weakened. Then water-made sharks spouted from the water, heading to the crowd. Protect the people, ordered Sarutobi. The higher-ranking ninjas fought the sharks while the rest took the civilians out of the stadium. Minutes later, when the sharks were defeated and everybody was safe, the Hokage headed to an Anbu. Any signs of Itachi and his accomplice? Asked. I'm sorry, Hokage-sama, they have escaped, responded the Anbu, concerned. Form a team to look after them, ordered Sarutobi, although he knew that they won't success. Then he headed to Arashi, who was unsealing his eyes while his son was congratulating him. You were amazing, Tauzen. I didn't know you could do such amazing things. For a moment I thought you were going to lose to the roasted guy. What did you saw? Asked Naruto. Some painful memories from the past, my kid, responded Minato sadly, caressing Naruto's hair. But now that I'm with you, everything will go fine. I'm glad to hear this, said the Hokage. You should go to rest, by the way. Congratulations, after your performance all judges agree to give you the Jonin rank. You also have been classified as a S-class nin. Minato nodded, not listening at the Hokage's words. He was thinking about the voice that helped him to escape. He would have swear that it sounded like hers. Next week you'll see the aftermatch of Minato's test. Some of your questions has been responded but news ones appeared. See ya. Jutsu list special jutsus enhanced Kawarimi no Jutsu. Like the basic Academy Jutsu Kawarimi, it switches the user with an object to escape enemy attacks. Unlike the usual Kawarimi, the user can switch with living beings, included the adversary. It also has the peculiarity to switch also the stance of the user and adversary, so it be used to reverse situations like grapples. It has the drawback of requiring insane amounts of chakra. There are two factors that increase the costs. One is the difference of chakra the two adversaries have. The lower the difference, the higher the cost. This technique doesn't work with anybody with higher chakra than the user. 2 is the distance between the adversaries. The higher the distance, the higher the cost. The cost excludes it for being an ultimate defense, but it's the perfect counterattack against turning the adversary's attacks against them. This jutsu was created by Minato Namikaze in the other world, where he couldn't had to worry of dying of chakra exhaustion. Flying no jutsu. Obviously, with this name, this jutsu gives the user the ability to fly. It requires high chakra reserves, very good wind manipulation, so have wind affinity it's required. It uses a cloak with seals that must be made with the wind chakra of the user, so he also must have enough knowledge of Funjutsu. The maneuverability of the user in the air relies in the control of wind chakra of the user. The speed relies in the chakra the user spends in the jutsu. This jutsu was created by Minato Namikaze in the other world. Hizashi. This seal-less jutsu is a chakra ray shoot at great speed and great impact force. The closer the user is from the adversary, the higher the damage. However, it doesn't have the pierciness of the Chidori or the power of the Rasengan. Like the Rasengan, it also has a 3-step training. It will be shown later in the history. This jutsu was created between Hizashi Hyuga and Minato Namikaze in the other world. Minato gave it the name of Hizashi as homage for Hizashi. Bunshine's Demi Bunshine no Jutsu, a specialized version of the Kage Bunshine no Jutsu. The user, instead of creating copies dividing his chakra equally among the clones, creates one of more clones with the quantity of chakra he chooses. He can choose their appearance, weight, height and sex, but always in the limits of human shape. No wings, claws or extra limbs allowed. While Kage Bunshines have the personality and knowledge of the user, with this clones the user must decide their personality and how much knowledge they have. This knowledge is limited by the user. Unlike Kage Bunshines, they are not made with a part of the soul of the user, so they don't transfer their memories when they are dispelled. This jutsu was created by the Naruto of the future in the training trip he had with Jiraiya. He developed it for train his chakra control because, unlike the Kage Bunshine, the user requires a lot of chakra control because the user needs to add all the characteristics of the clone instead of using himself as mold. The main purposes of this jutsu are improving chakra control and get a bunch of loyal servants for do all the boring work for free. The Naruto of the future never used it after his comeback. He also hid it from Kakashi after Jiraiya's perverted requests in the trip. Fuuten Bunshine no Jutsu, a type of elemental clone. This clones are created compressing air, spending more chakra than even the Kage Bunshines, making this jutsu only possible for the strongest jonins. They are invisible, inodorous, and they don't leave traces because they are floating. Only those with enhanced hearing or chakra-sensible senses like the Hyugas can detect them. The main purpose of this jutsu is to help the user in the fight in mobilizing or attacking the adversary. If they had the property of transfer their memories to the user, they would be the ultimate spy and scouting tool. This jutsu was created by the Naruto of the future months later after his Fuuten, Rasen Shuriken, applying his wind training to his other favorite move, the Kage Bunshine. Kaden Bunshine no Jutsu, a type of elemental clone. This clones are created using fire. They look like the regular clones, but they have the particularity of exploding in flames when they are hit or if the user dispels them. The main purpose of this clone is to work as trap for the adversary exploding in flames. This jutsu was created by Fugaku Uchiha, who was killed by his own son before he had the chance of teach it to him. The reasons because he taught it to Minato in the other world are unknown. Funjutsu's Funjutsu, sticky web. The user creates a seal placed in a tag, releases a sticky web that immobilizes the enemy. The tag can be placed over the adversary or added to a kunai, releasing the web with the impact. This jutsu was created by Minato Namikaze. Funjutsu, improvised explosive tags. It's like the regular explosive tags, but it takes only a few seconds to create them instead of many minutes. They also double the power of the regular ones because the creator spends more chakra creating them. This jutsu was created by Minato Namikaze. Funjutsu, sealed eyes. This jutsu seals the eyes of the adversary, letting them useless until the person who performed the jutsu unseals them or dies. If the user is good in the art of seals, he can alter it to restrict how much detail can the adversary see instead of letting him blind. True seal masters can use it to alter things like the colors the victim can see. This jutsu was created by Minato Namikaze. Funjutsu, special storage seal. It's a version of the usual storage seal that is connected with the maker of the seal. The maker can release it by an order instead of touching it using his blood. This jutsu was created by Minato Namikaze. Hiyashi ordered Neji to escort his cousin back to the compound. The poor girl was disappointed for losing the chance of being hugged again by Naruto. He went to the hospital and asked for Bear's room. The annoyed receptionist told him to follow the track of giggles while mumbling something about all elite shinobis being perverts. The Hyuga's puzzlement disappeared when he finally got into the room where Bear and the other Anbu were. They were being attended by very beautiful women, dressed by very tantalizing nurse outfits. They were caressing the Anbu while praising their skills. All Anbu minus Bear were enjoying the special treatment by the ladies. "What sort of nurses you are?" asked Undignified. "The sort of nurses that Uzumaki sends as apologizing gift for beating us," responded Crow, trying to look undignified with no success. "Is there a place where we can talk in private, my lord?" "I must tell you something," asked Bear. "Yes, there's an empty room in the corridor, we can talk there," responded Hiyashi. They got into the room. Then Hiyashi dispelled the hench he was using all day, turning into a different Hyuga, while Bear removed his mask, revealing the true Hiyashi Hyuga. "How are you, my lord? Are you hurt?" asked the Hyuga. "Only in my pride, Hono," responded Hiyashi. "That Uzumaki didn't lie when he told that he knew my brother. He knew how to fight against Juoken. Tell me, what happened after he knocked me?" Hono told him about how Chameleon turned to be Itachi and how Arashi fought him, including the seal he used in his own eyes for avoid the terrible effects of Itachi's Sharingan. He also knows that technique of the Yondaime, not only the Rasengan. He also has a secret technique of the Uchihas, the technique he named like my brother and his own techniques. Even more, he has a boot limit that let him fight against 8 Jonins after using the gates, said Hiyashi, thoughtful. "What are you thinking, Hiyashi-sama?" asked Hono, intrigued. "Hono, call all Hyuga elders to a meeting, both ranks. We must decide what to do about the matter of the Uzumaki. What do you mean, my lord?" asked Hono. "Since the disappearance of the Uchihas, we Hyugas became the most powerful clan in Konoha. But now, with the new Uzumaki clan, that status is in danger. Tell all our spies and agents to gather all info about Arashi, his son and his wife, whoever she was," ordered Hiyashi. "Yes, sire," said Hono, taking back Hiyashi's appearance before leaving. With Minato and Naruto, they were walking back to their apartment. Minato noticed that people was not glaring at Naruto or him, even some villagers greeted them when they passed. Obviously the matches of the arena and our new status as a clan with exclusive powers and jutsus improved the village's opinion about us, thought Minato. "I can't wait to see their faces the day I reveal my face." Unknown to the X-Cage, the main reason because the villagers were not mean as before was the way Minato was treating his son, just like another kid, not a demon's vessel. The fact that Naruto had a human relative killed most of the rumors about him being the Kyuubi in human form. Another reason were the rumors about what Arashi Uzumaki does to anybody who treats his son badly. Nobody wanted to know what he does with the spoon and mouse. Naruto was too busy talking with his father to notice that. "Tauzen, what did the old man mean when he said that you were S-class?" asked. "Among ninja, the class is the true way to determine a ninja's true power, not the rank," responded Minato. "Do you say that what really matters is the class?" asked Naruto, puzzled. Minato nodded. "Yes, the rank only determines who will take the leadership in missions and what sort of responsibilities the ninjas will take. Usually the lower the rank of the ninja, the lower the class, but it's not always like this, so you shouldn't underestimate your opponents for having a low class." "Does it happen the opposite, Dad, ninjas with high ranks that are weak?" asked Naruto. "Yes, it happens. For example, in minor villages the leaders probably are not as strong as a medium Konoha Jonin, or even a Chunin ready to take the Jonin exam. Each village has its own requisites for determine the rank. The 5 great villages, Iwa, Kuri, Kumo, Suna, and Konoha, have the highest requisites, so most ninjas with rank above Jonin from these places will have a high class. "Can you give me some examples, Dad?" asked his son. "A good example of somebody with high class and low rank was your future self. He was the last one to get the Chunin rank of his graduation class. It was because that training trip that took 2.5 years. However, he was the most powerful of them all. He became the only Konoha ninja able to create and use a SS class before turning 16, said Minato proudly. "Then I will be the first one to become Chunin. And I will create that SS class jutsu before 15, interrupted a jealous Naruto. "I have no doubt you will achieve it, Nikken," said Minato, ruffling his hair. Many missing nin are examples of ninjas with high class but low rank, in fact they don't have rank at all. Examples of ninjas with low class and high rank are most academy teachers. Their rank was given because their responsibilities, not their power. As final example I can mention the Lord of the Fire Country. His rank is above the Hokage, but a Jonin fresh from the academy would dispatch him with no trouble. Naruto was surprised to know that the Hokage had to respond to someone weaker than him. Thinking about that, they arrived at their home. There were some men putting everything into boxes. "Hey look Dad! Someone is in our apartment stealing our things," shouted Naruto, furious, preparing for a fight. "Don't worry Naruto, they are some of my Demi clones. They are going to help us in our move to our family house," said Minato. "ORF family house?" asked Naruto. "Yes. I bought it after I became Hokage. I'll tell you more as soon as we arrive there." Naruto packed his most valuable things in a backpack, while his father and the Demi clones finished with the boxes. As soon as they finished they left the place. It was almost night. Naruto looked at the place he stayed all his life for a last time with a mix of sadness and happiness. They went to the most rich part of the village with the people there looked at them at disbelief. They ignored them. They stopped at a 3-story mansion. "This is our house?" asked Naruto, excited. "Yes, this is our new home, take this," said Minato, handing him some keys. Naruto got into the house and started to explore it while the Demi clones took the duty to unpack the boxes and then dispelled themselves. Minato removed his mask and got into his room, not knowing how much he was going to regret it. He opened the closet to hang his cloak and he saw her clothes. Shocked, he sat down in the bed. Another error. It keeps her scent, thought. I can't sleep here. Not without her. He looked at the clothes in the closet, sadly, not noticing that Naruto got into the room. "Why, you really miss her, don't you Daddy?" said Naruto sadly, hugging his father from behind. "Why yes," responded Minato, "I'll sleep in one of the guest rooms." "Do you like our house?" said, cheering up a little. "Yes, it's wonderful." "Probably it took a lot of time to you to decorate it, don't you?" asked Naruto. "No, she took all the decoration work by herself. She said that because I paid for the house she was the one who had to turn it into a home. She even forbid me to enter the rooms she didn't finish to decorate." "Have you seen all rooms?" "No, I didn't finish. I'll keep on with it," said the boy. Naruto left the room happily. Minutes later Minato realized that his son was not making any noise and looked after him worried. He found him speechless in the door of a room. That room was different from the others. It was decorated with infantile motifs like bunnies, baby sheeps and many cute animals. In one of the walls there was a bookcase with illustrated tales for children near a closet full of baby clothes that never would be used by the one they were intended. In other wall there was a coffin full of baby toys, most of them were still in their original boxes. In the center of the room there was a table with a basket full of colored wool balls and 2 knitting needles. There was also an unfinished baby-sized sweater. In the side of the table there was a rocking chair with an open book. It looked the last person who read it had to left the room quickly. The book was titled Maternity for Kunoikas. In the last wall, below the window, there was a crib. Inside the crib there was a stuffed frog, still waiting for his destined owner. That toy and all things in the room were covered in dust. Finally, hanged in a star-decorated ceiling there was a hanged sign. It had a chibi Minato and a chibi Kushina with open arms. The sign said, "Welcome home, Naruto-kun." "This is one of the rooms she forbid me to enter until it was finished," whispered Minato. She really wanted to have me," babbled Naruto while a single tear crossed his face. Minato quickly hugged him. Daddy. How can I miss someone I never met?" asked Naruto sadly. I don't know. I think it's a sign of how strong are the bonds between parents and children," said Minato. "T-1000. There are 2 beds in the guest's room, aren't they?" Minato nodded. Later that night, Naruto got up from the bed and got into the nursery room. Then he took the stuffed frog, went back to the room he shared with his father and got again into bed. "Thank you for your present, Mom, I love it," whispered, hugging it with a smile. Meanwhile, in the Hyuga compound, Hyuga Hiyashi and the clan elders were finishing their meeting. The Hyuga spies and agents brought all they discovered about the Uzumakis, including copies of medical reports of both of them and Arashi's missions. The only interference was when one of the agents rushed in the hall telling that the Uzumakis were their new neighbors. Hiyashi was using all his will to not show the face of a defeated man. With the difference of 1 vote it was decided to carry out the plan, said keeping his coldness, the plan which will make the Uzumaki clan disappear in a cave, unknown location. Itachi was receiving medical attention from Zetsu. The plant man Whiteside was the only medic nin in the Akatsuki. Unfortunately for Itachi, Zetsu's black side was a sadistic bastard, so he forgot to apply an anesthetic. Fortunately for Zetsu, Itachi was too cool for complain. "Hold on Itachi-san, you are almost done," said his white side. "What a way to waste some good roasted meat," complained his other side. "Oomph, I can look after myself now," said Itachi, putting was his clothes. "You know, that burns the Uzumaki inflicted you'll leave some ugly scars," said the black side. "Unfortunately I'm not trained to attend them," lied. "I don't care, when I finish with him he won't have flesh to be scarred," responded Itachi, leaving the room. They got into the chamber of the cave that they used for meetings. The rest of the Akatsuki were there. The leader started to talk. "As you know, it came to our knowledge that a man claiming to be the Kyuubi's vessel father had arrived in Konoha. Unlike most Jinka Uriki's relatives, he doesn't hate him, in fact he was giving him a special training. Last day he was having a test for determine his rank. We sent Itachi and Kisame to check his power level, determine if he could be a treat in the future and terminate him if the answer was positive." "He almost cooked Itachi-senpai," bursted out Tobi. The other Akatsukis murmured among themselves after this revelation until Pain told them to stop gossiping like old ladies. "Silence. It won't alter our plans. When the time comes we will deal with that man. He won't be able to face my own power." He looked at the Uchiha. "Itachi, I found somebody who will replace Orochimaru. His name is Deidara, a stone nin who works as a terrorist. Convince him to going us but boo us. I can be the partner of Sasori-senpai," complained Tobi. Obviously he was ignored by the others. Itachi nodded at the leader and left the place with Kisame. The rest of the group came back to their duties. Tobi was left alone in the chamber, thinking about what happened in the arena. "So I was not the only one dragged back into the past," thought Madara. "Minato Namikaze. How many times are you going to interfere with my plans? You didn't expect that, eh? See you next time." That's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on my other social media accounts. Anime God here, and I'm signing off.